galaxy is burning. Brother fights brother, and treason splits the Imperium of man. This is the Age of Darkness. Welcome to the Remembrancers Retreat, coming to you from within the depths of the Vengeful Spirit.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Remembrancers Retreat, a Warhammer 30k, Horus Heresy, and Specialist Games podcast. My name is Jesse. I'm here with Jared and Austin. How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing good. Feeling sexy like usual. Really
awesome.
Living the dream.
Get that mic a little bit closer there.
All right, fine.
There we go.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Feeling sexy.
So sexy.
I just didn't want to overwhelm the mic with my dulcet tones, you know.
That's fair. That's fair.
Got to get in there.
Got to get right up in the nook. Still getting used to recording in person, you know?
Yeah, it feels good. Nice to see you all here, down in my basement, living the nerd life.
I know. At least it's your basement.
Yeah, if you own the house, it's not lame.
And at least it is well lit.
That's right. That's right.
That's true. It's well lit, and we'll not talk about the amount of unpainted minis just scattered around.
There's no offensive odors.
There's no offensive odors.
Just some 3D print resin odor a little bit.
Just
within the bottom.
The background, just resin and
hint of rubbing alcohol
and Chaos Black.
Yeah.
Beer.
Yeah.
Beer.
And well, more than a hint of beer at this point.
I mean,
but that's not all Jesse's fault.
Yeah. But that's what we're not here for today. Because this afternoon, the old GW finally released what they were talking about when they announced Warhammer Plus. And now we know the details. We have the deets. So if you haven't heard, Warhammer Plus is basically a streaming service that GW is putting out, but also has a lot more as well to it, for such as apparently a digital vault of previous GW books, game books, and whatnot. They have the animation series, of course. They're tying in the Warhammer and Age of Sigmar apps into it, so you no longer have to pay a separate subscription to those. And also bringing out some Warhammer TV exclusive shows, which means that when they were talking, that you'll still get to watch all the YouTube videos that they come out with right now. And the Twitch streams that they have currently are not going away. But there's some extra stuff here with a little bit, from what I saw in the preview, a little bit higher production quality. Not slicker
guys
stuff.
that may actually know what they're doing rather than hobbyists with, podcasting equipment.
Yeah, something like that. They also mentioned maybe VIP extras at events. Like, they mentioned two things like, a separate queue for like something or exclusive merch.
Hooray!
Yeah.
Get you through that Forge World line at Nova 2022 faster.
I mean,
yeah.
I had... when I got the Super Gamer, what did they call it? The Supernova? I had that extra.
Oh, yeah, you could sit at the front of the
queue.
line.
Yeah, that was kind of nice. So if they had that for Warhammer stuff, even better. Also, they came out, which I think is probably the best value out of this, is that you get a free exclusive miniature when you've signed up or have subscribed for a year.
And it did say it's worth £25
at least, but
which I don't know what that like. I don't really know what that means.
It's like 35, I want to say, in American
and
Freedom
yet,
Dollar.
When you look at the models and you compare it to the other models GW sells,
yeah,
it seems like it's these at least I would have assumed would go for more than that if they'd just shown up.
I would think so.
Given GW's, American hospital pricing model of we charge you what we feel like, I would put that. The assassin definitely at more than £25.
Yeah. So let's talk about it. You got two models here, and you can choose one or the other, and then you also have the opportunity to buy the other. But the 40K one is a Vindicare assassin who's standing up in some broken Sister of Battle statue.
Yeah,
I mean that's a good terrain
He's
piece.
in her brain, shooting somebody, and I already own several Vindicare assassins, so I have no real desire for a third one. but I do want that piece of terrain to just like
that's
incorporate into a bigger
fantastic
sculpt. It's
little bit.
delightful.
Yeah.
And then there is an orc.
Yep. An orc mega boss.
No one plays orcs, I'm pretty sure.
But you notice he's channeling his inner Magnus the Red.
He is.
With the triple nipple, the triple nipple horn.
Got a crudely fashioned weapon and some kind of funny.
It looks like he's got his eye patch. And
Yeah,
everything,
he has one eye.
What's he
He's
holding in his
basically
left
Magnus the Red.
Yeah.
left hand, probably some storm, probably a Stormcast
The
helmet. If I had to
scalp of
guess.
It could be his hair.
Maybe it's the hair of Magnus the Red.
Yeah,
Maybe.
it's like I'm the Crimson King now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd believe it.
It's an improvement, definitely.
But yeah, impressive models, and that looks like a 40 millimeter, maybe even a 50 millimeter base he's standing on.
Big boy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's really what makes this good, I think. Because I remember a couple of episodes ago when we first heard that like this is how they were going to be distributing their new shows and whatnot. We were all just sort of like, fuck, another streaming service.
Mildly salty.
It's
but so it's $6 a month,
$5.99.
or 60 for the year if you sign up for the whole year.
Yeah, so 2 months free.
Yeah, 2 months free. But if you get the model, you get one of the two models for free at the end of your year subscription.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's a $35 model,
I'm honestly, a Vindicare looks like 40 or 45 to me personally.
but take them at face value.
Yeah.
If it's a 20, like if the option is, hey, you want that Vindicator for free, here's the Orc for 25 or vice versa, or 25 pounds, I should say. That means you've got a year of GW Plus for $25.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you want, like, if you actually want,
you just had a really, really long pre-order.
Yeah.
yeah. Like,
And apparently they're going to be launching new miniatures every year.
That doesn't suck.
Yeah, which I would hope that they would reveal before your year is up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would assume they've done it now. They're launching in August, so probably it's going to be a summer thing every year. Hey, here's the new model for signing up, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And again, some of that other stuff, like when you mentioned like older White Dwarf publications and things like that. I know, like, I'm a grognard and not everybody cares, but I would super enjoy it if they were like, hey, here's White Dwarf like 1 to 100 in a digital format, because there was just so much cool stuff in the old ones.
Yeah,
and,
you
like,
get lost in there real quick.
We'll say I'm not sure how they're going to release the digital vault.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that a little bit because I think there's some stipulations with that.
it's just the old black
That
Gabo.
But we'll talk about that. We'll go through this article first and talk about the animations, which when the Warhammer Plus comes out in August 25th, they'll have 2 animations ready to go. That's Angels of Death and Hammer and Bolter. So they don't have the whole slew out immediately, but they'll have the first few episodes of these 2 shows. And then new animations will be coming out almost, I didn't see that almost before, almost every Wednesday.
Yeah, just caveating it.
They might skip Christmas or something.
Yeah, like, we're going to try every Wednesday, but, this is our first foray into making actual TV, so bear with us.
Yeah, and watching the stream, they mentioned that the Hammer and Bolter show, the episodes are roughly about 10 to 15 minutes long.
Oh, yeah?
They didn't say anything about Angels of Death, though.
Angels of Death is full length, I'm pretty sure. Well, full length. Like, I think
25 minutes or something.
I want to say they vary in length. Kind of like how some Netflix shows, this one's 25 and this episode is like
40 minutes.
35 or 40. Yeah.
Oh.
So like TV length.
Yeah. So no release yet, or no details yet on when the other episodes or other shows are going to release, but we'll see what happens.
Huh.
So moving on, they're going to have some exclusive shows that stem off from Warhammer TV. First one being the Citadel Color Masterclass.
Yeah.
Which I'll admit, a lot of these techniques, it'll be cool. I'm curious to see how they do it in the Citadel GW film style. But a lot of these techniques you can find online to learn.
Spend 10 minutes on Instagram.
And I was about to say,
You're set.
for me with painting techniques, I tend to really dislike video form. Like, I'd rather have a couple of picture, like the step-by-step picture.
Oh, you like the white
than
dwarf
just
method.
like, yeah, just like a blurb of what I'm actually doing. Because otherwise it's like, and now I'm going to take this brush and I'm going to apply it. You see me applying it?
Bring that
You
camera
see
in.
me
Bring that camera in.
Like
Austin's so old, you guys.
my
I'm sorry.
God.
The kids
We're
on
the
his
same
lawn are.
age, you son of a bitch. I did yell at geese on my yard the other day, though.
Okay, geese are acceptable. You should absolutely yell at them.
Those sons of
They'll
bitches.
probably shoot back, but
It's true. But like, if you do like a good painting tutorial, I'm sure they're going to be great because it's all going to be the friggin' Forge World guys talking about nonsense.
No, this one is going to be run by I can't remember her name. I had it written down.
Or not Forge World, the heavy metal guys.
No, it's one individual. Her name escapes me at the moment, and I feel bad because they don't have it in the article for some reason. But watching the stream, she seemed very enthusiastic and was looking forward to doing it.
Replacement Duncan.
To some extent. But
there's no replacing Duncan.
She did mention that like Peachy and the others will also still be doing the regular Citadel.
Well, that's good. So they're not putting all the painting behind a paywall, just like...
No. This is the master class, and that'll be behind a paywall for advanced techniques like blending and stuff like that. Okay. Then I'll have Warhammer Lore Masters.
This is what I'm most interested in. Because it's just going to be, we're going to talk about, the lore presented by experts. And that's the interesting thing. Because everybody's seen, some asshole on YouTube explaining how a Space Marine is recruited for the billionth time, to varying effect. Like some of those are really interesting if you don't know anything about the lore. Some of them you want to beat them to death
with their own shoes.
With their own shoes. But if you've ever listened to like when Dan Abnett got on and was talking about like writing the latest Siege of Terra book,
talking about how great Rogaldorn is.
Rogaldorn is a shitbag. I say again, Imperial fists are easily captured. Canonical.
Here's to you, Lysander.
Yep.
He's not canon. I don't know what anybody's talking about.
But anyway, these might be very basic, and I'm sure they will be to a certain extent because this is their first try at lore, so they want to lay it out for like the people that don't know anything about Space Marines.
But see, that's the thing. Maybe it's not.
No.
Due to the fact that it is a subscription-based service, they might. I feel like they might. Would be an opportunity for them to go deeper.
Exactly. But
maybe it will be Dan Abnett.
And that's my thought. Is if they do say like, hey, Graham McNeil, talk about Space Wolves, he's not going to be like, well, they're Viking-type warriors that live on Fenris and everything has wolf in the name.
Fenris is a death world full of ice.
No, he's going to talk about how, like, it was called, like, the World of Wolves before the Emperor even found it, and it's some weird experiment/prison planet. Like, get real deep into the...
Sorry.
Hey, look, get a more interesting Legion, all right?
That's impossible.
You play yellow accountants.
The Ultramarines are accountants, sir.
Yeah, but they're actually good at it.
No.
Anyway, I'm excited for that because even the basic stuff, like you said, it might start out basic, but you get some of these guys rambling and they will say the wildest shit.
Yeah.
And then they also have they'll have Age of Sigmar and Warhammer 40K battle reports.
I'm pretty excited about these. I love the.
I don't know if you guys listened to the stream or watched the stream, but again, at the beginning they showed previews, and it has a very slick production value.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, high def cameras and things, and going back and forth between the players and stuff instead of just an overhead and just watching dice roll. It seemed interesting. Yeah. Also, during the interview, when they were talking to the host of this one, he mentioned that he let slip that they're going to be doing a Siege of Terra.
Yeah, he did.
They're doing a Siege of Terra
and for those
narrative
of you,
battle.
And for those of you, well, I'm sure nobody actually listens to this podcast. It's like, oh, heresy is dead because you're listening to a freaking 30K podcast. But they were like, oh, what are you most excited? Like, what battles are you most excited to do? And he's like, well, I'm really excited for the Siege of the Imperial Palace. And like who was it that was actually running the interview?
Adam, I want to say.
Can we mute his mic?
He just kind of gets this look on his face like, anyway, moving right along. Let's not.
He lets out a nervous laugh. And so
Security's gonna come and get me.
then he cries out, Andy something, but then gets interrupted.
Like, stop
Andy
it.
Hoare's gonna kill us.
So, anyways, you guys.
But I guess apparently some people posted that if they typed in heresy or box set, that their filter for their Twitch stream would block that out. So no one could cry out, what about the heresy box set?
They were certainly on the right track, though, because considering the pictures we've seen, they would not have had anything else in that chat.
No.
But all the heresy nerds being like, but where is it? Why aren't there 30K battle reports? Give us the new edition, you bastards.
We'll make our own damn battle reports one day.
Yeah.
One day. But yeah, so they're going to have narrative battles and also your standard, I don't know what they call them here, match play battles. But yeah, he seemed very enthusiastic about making battles based off of stories and Black Library books and whatnot.
Which would be really cool. Like I'm not really big into like battle reports in general and video ones especially.
Sure.
But
You're
this
old school like that.
No, I just
You like that White Dwarf where it had the old arrows pointing where I went this way and where you like it. You like it. It's cool.
It had its own like charm to it.
It did.
But I just don't read battle reports. But I'm really interested in these, especially the narrative stuff, because it might be like it's going to be great, just like fodder for people that run events to be like, all right, like these are the GW guys. These are the ones that know what they're doing. What sort of like twists are they throwing into their narrative campaigns? Like, what?
Sure, they'll have some scenarios or something.
I am absolutely sure that when they do a narrative thing, something they'll be like, oh, and we've posted like the rules packet we gave to the players, or like, hey, here's all the special stuff we used, or hey, here's a joint thing to show you how to make this cool like fancy piece of terrain we did for it. Or
But speaking of that, the pictures they have, the boards look awesome. And they also mentioned that the Warhammer TV studio has been completely remodeled to allow for bigger and better games than ever before, so you can get up close and personal with the action.
I can only imagine they have a very tiny drone. You know, the ones that are like roll of duct tape size.
Yeah.
Just with the camera, like scoot down
That'd be cool.
into the action, do a little flyby.
Yeah.
Be great.
Moving on, they are rolling in the apps for the Warhammer 40K and Age of Sigmar games. I gotta admit, the 40K app is extremely disappointing, and at $2.99 a month, not worth it, personally.
David said earlier in the chat, I'm already paying for one crappy app. I might as well just lump this in.
Although I will say in their defense, the Age of Sigmar app I hear is people like it. I don't play Age of Sigmar, but
unfortunately, they made it very clear that they're going to be putting out a brand new Age of Sigmar app to replace the old one for the edition.
No.
We heard you liked it, so we're all right.
So
what you're saying is though they're $2.99. You said
$2.99 a month. Yeah.
So
the Azir is free, if I remember right, for Age of Sigmar.
I was about to say that means if you were playing Warhammer and Age of Sigmar and buying both those apps, everything comes free now because you're still paying that same $6, but you're getting both your apps and a pile of other stuff.
I do kind of hope they do lore videos on Age of Sigmar because there's people seem to like that game, and I know
they
nothing
do
about
say
it.
the lore is going to be both things.
41st Millennium and Mortal Realms. So there you go.
I don't even know where to start with it. Like honestly,
I feel like I made my opinions on Age of Sigmar known, but like for every really cool thing that they do, because they've got some amazing concepts in Age of Sigmar, and for every one of those, there's something that's just the dumbest shit I've ever seen, and it just they like literally every time I read something, I'm like, oh, cool, Age of Sigmar is finally like, matured enough as a lore that's got this really cool, and the next thing it'll be just like, oh, fuck. Just full on Picard facepalm, just ugh. But yeah, hey, maybe this third edition of Age of Sigmar will finally
nail it down.
Nail, get all the rough edges.
I mean, things are looking bleaker and bleaker in the Mortal Realms. So.
Are they?
I mean, if you did you see the trailer for the newest edition?
I did not. No.
Yeah, shit's gone super south. Chaos is on the brink of winning this time instead of pitched battle. It's like
good guys uber alles.
Yeah.
They did redo the Stormcast though, and they do look much cooler.
They do. They do.
I'm a really big fan of the new Stormcast.
They're not just space.
They will be fantastic for survivors of a Dark Age militia.
Yeah, you're right. They now look very distinct from Space Marines as opposed to their earlier renditions.
Yeah, that was just Space Marines.
Where you could just swap out shoulder pads and like, there you go.
Do it. Head swap. And really, you're 80% of the way there.
New helmet, new shoulder pads, same model.
There you go. Artificer armor. Good to go.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
So now they also have the Warhammer Vault, which
actually, and if I will say this is something I missed. If you go back for a second,
bang it up.
So if you already have the 40K app, you'll apparently automatically get Warhammer Plus for the first month, and you'll get the free stuff sooner.
Yeah, I don't know how that works
for half price. So if you want to if you want to experiment with Warhammer Plus, I would go ahead. Well, not this month because it comes out in August, right? But
July.
maybe like like mid-July, pick up the Warhammer 40K app to get like a half price trial month.
Stick it to the man.
And then if you like it, you get your free model early.
Yeah.
And can sell it on eBay for $600 because the internet is dumb.
Yeah. And apparently also, if you're an existing 40K app subscriber, if you take out a full year subscription, you'll receive an additional free gift too, which I don't know what that means. They didn't say.
I can only assume it's both the free model, like both the models.
It's going to be a coaster.
Hey man, they make cool coasters.
I mean, they do.
Like, I know that sounds like the height of dumb nerd, but Jesse and I both have a set, and they're really nice.
Yeah, we got coasters scattered all over this table right now.
Carol gave me the Imperial Fist one.
Yeah.
I'm grateful to her for that.
Her Imperial Fist one. I got one right there. Yeah, she got her own coaster set.
There's a touch of
She's got the World Eaters at work and stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, the Warhammer Vault, which I'll admit, not quite as super exciting as I thought it was at first.
If it's got Fall of Cadia, geez.
So yeah, they have.
I'm about it.
So it's focused on the game books, but it's only the lore sections, if I'm reading this right.
Really?
It says, including this digital archive, you'll find lore sections from past publications, and at launch you'll find titles such as Gathering Storm and Sanctus Reach, letting you catch up on the major events that led up to the era Indomitus.
I mean, I assume that like this is where they're starting because they've already got all the digital copies of everything. Yeah. And then as the years go by and their one intern is just in the archive scanning old white dwarves and shit, it'll get more expansive.
Apparently, so yeah, they also mentioned, if I remember right, that the 2020 set of White Dwarf will be available at launch too.
Yeah, the digital versions, yeah.
So I don't know how long it's going to take them if they go farther and farther back.
I think they will. They've been doing enough pandering to people like me that they may well start doing some of the older ones. But this is interesting. Like, I wouldn't pay money for this. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't pay like a $2 subscription to get this on its own. But
it's a nice little add-on.
Yeah, like there's plenty of like bespoke fluff.
Yeah.
In even codexes that you can't find anywhere else. And like when I was doing
artwork and stuff.
Yeah, like when I was doing my Epic Tyranid army, it just happened to be when 8th edition was the last edition of 40K as we know it. It was just in that transition, and they were getting rid of like the old codexes, and it was just like, buy anything at your local Warhammer, and just
that was
take
7th edition to 8th.
7th to 8th, yeah. And I just like picked up the Tyranid Codex for free
for the hell of it,
just for the fluff in it.
Yeah,
It's like everything you need to know about a new army, and like had some cool paint schemes and stuff like that, cool art. So, and like now that they're advancing the fluff again, like I've never had Hour of the Wolf or Fall of Cadia, and like if I want to know anything about those besides like a paragraph spark note, did you buy that? No. Fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Fall of Cadia should have been a novel in and of its own, honestly. So
there's quite a bit of lore in there. I think I have the book somewhere.
I want to reiterate that the Imperial Navy won the 13th Black Crusade. I was there for that for that event. GW retconning all my stuff.
And of course, they also have the old Age of Sigmar stuff. Which look at that first one there, Quest for Gal Maraz. Look at that old. It's so cute and bright and shiny. Look at that Stormcast.
Yeah, I got to say
circa
that's
1995.
God, it's yeah. I don't want to think about how old that was. Anyway, but yeah. So White Dwarfs.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Which is cool.
The entire back catalog from 2020 available at launch.
Look at those hands.
And the ever-expanding library that we promise will take up considerably less space than the real thing. Well, at that point, yes, you could just release that and it would still have considerably less space.
Yeah, I'm definitely about that.
Yeah, and like I freaking love like Index Astartes and all the stuff that comes out of there.
I don't even remember that cover. The Space Wolf. I wonder if it was like a special edition for the subscribers that get them mailed. The Space Wolf on the wolf.
He's riding a wolf. It's so cool.
Event extras. You'll get a Warhammer Plus experience, including perks such as VIP badges, priority access, and free merch. Hello, I didn't say free merch. We'll hold you to that, GW.
Well, I mean, if you remember
print this out right now.
It's got to be a coaster, I'm telling you.
Got to print this out right now.
It's going to be a full friggin' model. It's going to be under your seat like Oprah. You remember that in 2019?
Oh,
yeah.
Nova, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you say Oprah?
Yeah,
just
like
Nova
Oprah.
at Oprah, yeah.
It's like Oprah style, like check under your seats. You get a Canon S, and you get a Canon S.
But yep, so a subscription, like we mentioned before, is £4.99 a month or $5.99 US per month in the United States. And I think they mentioned somewhere that I don't know how much it's going to cost, but apparently it's going to be the relative cost in other countries. So
yeah, and I will say this actually looks close to the exchange rate, unlike the Forge World models.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
Mm-hmm. So sorry for our...
Yeah, no idea what the Australians are going to pay.
$100 a month.
It's hard to ship that internet all the way down there, boys.
Bandwidth, guys. Sorry.
Got to go across a couple oceans. The sharks are trying to bite it open.
But yeah, as someone who's not a huge fan of a million different streaming services, this actually doesn't seem like a terrible deal. We were kind of doom and gloom on it.
I mean, I was afraid to even speculate because I didn't want to be brought down. But
like
I guess
about it, you pay $30 for the cool model, right? Yeah. And that means it's $30 a year. That's not even a box of literally anything GW sells anymore.
That's less than a pot of paint.
That's
that's less than a pot of paint a month.
One pot of paint.
Yeah, 6 pots of paint.
Small pot of
6 pots of paint a year.
It's less than a pot of wash.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the animations, I'm curious. Godspeed to all of the creators that GW snatched up. I hope that they have fulfilling work ahead of them.
Yep. I hope that you all have bought teams instead of just one crazy man doing 2 minutes of animation a year.
Yeah, I know people
bless you all, but get more staff. You apparently have a lot of stuff to fill.
I know people have worried about, now that they're going to be on a timeline and stuff, that will the quality go down? I'll say, but on the flip side of that, depending on what GW is paying them, now that they might have some more, resources and a little more grounded, they might be able to actually put more effort into it instead of 2 hours a night as they're trying to cram for school or something.
Yeah, that's your job,
Yeah.
Yeah, if that's their job, I hope it is. I hope GW is paying them good money for that.
I'm sure.
But yeah, Godspeed to them and looking forward to it.
Yeah. Like you said, who knows if they'll be able to keep up a release schedule that makes it worth it, year after year.
Yeah. That's why you say almost every Wednesday.
Yep. But it'll be interesting. Like it seems like a good deal for the first one anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, curious to see what other models will come out next year. But that's already a year away. So
it'll also be interesting to see if they stick with it. Not in the sense that it'll all fail and go away and GW never touch animation again. But I'm almost interested if this is sort of like they want to do this, see if they can get a good, we're making good money. We got a lot of views. Everything's working well. Mm-hmm. And use that as kind of a bartering chip for a bigger platform, to get on a bigger platform.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure GW is a big fish in our wargaming world, but they make what was their profits last year?
I don't know. I haven't pulled
less than the budget, but still less than the budget of any given blockbuster movie.
Well, yeah.
That's the thing. I'm sure if they had gone to Netflix or somebody when they first were thinking about this, Netflix was probably we'll give you $50. We'll see if you're worth it. You're just a toy company.
I mean, that being said, from what I understand, Netflix will give a show to anybody.
Yeah. I could probably send this.
I mean,
10 minutes.
It's true.
If the joke from Rick and Morty is true.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see if this spins off into even, oh, hey, we did really well with Hammer and Bolter. Let's do a Gaunt's Ghost miniseries.
It's a
live
pretty
action
good
Gaunt's Ghost. Do it.
It's a pretty good way to like reach out to non-nerds.
Well, yeah, but you need to be on an actual system for that. Like for this, all the nerds are excited.
I bet there will be in the future, some, hey, here's a free episode of such and such show. Hey, get your feet wet. First hit's free,
But yeah, Austin makes a good point. Like, no one outside of the Warhammer or wargaming community knows about this.
Yeah.
Like if you had,
but it's a good way to reach out.
It is. But if you had an episode of Hammer and Bolter on like Netflix,
yeah, if it pops up in your recommended because you like some anime or something. Oh, what's this shit? Oh, this looks cool.
Yeah.
I mean, they're hoping now for word of mouth that like,
Yeah.
I'll watch it and tell my wife, who will tell one of her coworkers.
I mean, I'll have all my cheap bastard friends, not name anyone specifically, come over to
William Lancaster.
We'll come over and we'll watch these shows together.
I pay for a streaming service. Let's not talk about how many I have access to.
Am I the only person who pays for like 6 streaming services?
No, unfortunately, I think I'll cancel my Hulu for this.
Okay.
I won't feel as bad about it.
Don't give up your Disney Plus.
No.
Mainly because I have your password. Don't sue me, Disney.
It's coming.
Put your hands up.
Fuck the mouse.
Come out of the house.
Oh shit, guys! SWAT team's at the door.
Just with the little Mickey Mouse ears on top of the helmets.
The flashbangs are coming in.
Austin's a family member, I guess. It's okay. We'll say that.
Get out of here. Yeah. Get out of here, you.
But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. My mind was not super blown, but I was like, all right, I actually might do this.
Yeah,
it's not half-assed.
They have certainly whole-assed it,
and I feel like they priced it just right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
to be honest, $5.99 sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Like that
lunch.
wasn't the end of the world just as a streaming service.
Yeah,
and then I know we were talking about it before the recording. We're like, well, but there's not a lot of content there. But if you actually want either of those two models, it's suddenly $2 a month, and at that point, why not?
Yeah, the models really make it worth it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was not expecting a free model to come with a subscription.
Yeah.
That was a huge surprise to me.
Yeah.
To me, the old GWs kind of are tempting because I like White Dwarfs. Jeez.
Oh.
What the hell, man?
Yeah, no, there's some great stuff in White Dwarfs.
Yeah,
and
give me Fall Acadia because I've always wanted to have it.
Yeah.
Just never had it.
Yeah. I've got 13th Black Crusade if you want to read that.
Is that like the
old 5th edition codex?
Oh, no. No, I don't have that. I might actually take you up on that.
Yeah, it'd be cool if they start rolling those old ones out too, which I'm hoping for. But yeah, so that's Warhammer Plus. And that's our view on it. I think it's cool.
Yeah. I'm not 100% if I'll put the money into it. But,
I feel like if the model wasn't there, I'd have I wouldn't be as keen about it. The model?
They know. Like,
these
all you nerds are going to want your exclusive model.
Here's your goddamn model. Now pay us.
We made it a Vindicare Assassin, so it'll work with all your Imperial armies, and everybody but Stephen Campbell has an Imperial army of some sort.
And Jason doesn't. He's got nothing.
Yeah, but he's got Mechanicum though, and that can run as Imperial.
But he wouldn't.
I mean, he wouldn't. But are you telling me he's not going to get that Vindicare?
Okay,
yeah, and there we are.
I mean, you're going to get it whether you like it or not if you get this subscription. So
yeah,
unless you want the orc, but I think
no one wants the orc.
Pat would want the orc.
I really want to get that orc now and paint it up exactly like Magnus the Red.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
Like I didn't realize. Like I was just laughing at the nipple horns.
3 aggressive nipples,
and like there's 3 nipple horns. He only has
just
one eye.
Shock of red hair.
He probably has some sort of psychic ability.
I'm the king of Prospero now.
Trade out that axe and just have like magic coming out of his fucking hand.
Yeah.
No. You keep the staff and just like magic coming out of his magic.
Yes. I can't think of an orky name for Magnus. Margut. I'm going to stop now. Anyway. So what else we want to talk about? I see you brought your House of Faith with you today, Austin.
I did, and it's fucking amazing.
Talk about it.
So House of Faith,
This Necromunda.
the new Necromunda book for House Cawdor, who are the crazy fanatics, even by Imperial standards. Their basic background fluff is that each of the great houses that sponsor these gangs have kind of like a thing they do. So like there's the Escher, which does all the like chemical stuff in the hive, and there's the friggin'
the Water Guild.
the Water Guild, and like the meat people that reprocess all the corpse grinders, get all the corpses. Orlok, which does all the mining. Cawdor does none of those things. They do like trash pickup and recycling is probably the best way to describe it.
But are also Al Qaeda.
What? No.
Yes.
No.
Come on.
Maybe.
Yes.
No. So their whole thing is they're the poorhouse. They have no money. All of their like people, their whole lives are spent rummaging through trash heaps, pulling out the useful scrap and bits and ends that can be, given to people in the house and can like be recycled and sold to other guilds.
Your autoguns are scavenged.
They are, and not from the same place. Like each piece of the autogun is probably from a different place, but it's great because I also talk about how they find relics that way too.
Is that why like half the weapons on there are like master crafted? I was reading that. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. And so the Cawdor, all of them follow the cult of redemption, which is a very like extremely like monodominant hardline imperial faith. Monodominant being one of the imperial kind of gradients of crazy. That's pretty much suffer not the witch to live, the mutant to live, the Xenos to live, and we will decide who falls into all of those categories. And guess what? It's probably you.
Go read the Eisenhorn series if you for further.
Yeah, it's great. And essentially some random guy who, there's a couple of different background stories to how the originator of this cult started out. And some are like, oh yeah, like he fell into a shredder, like an industrial strength shredder, and didn't die, and like saw it as his gift. He started the redemption. And some are like, he was just a con man and made it all up and founded the redemption.
Hey, there you go.
But anyway, it's like propagated in this.
Sure.
So they're like really poor, but they're really, really religious. And some of them are just like, they're too much, too hardline, even for the Imperium of mankind. And so like
The ecclesiarchy is like, ooh.
yeah, no, exactly. And they actually
Yikes.
troll them, right? So Cawdor, so they're all redemption, right? And some, which are called the redemptionists. It's a little crazy. So there's Cawdor, that's the gang. The cult of redemption is the faith that everybody in Cawdor follows. And then the subsect, which are the redemptionists, are the crazy ones that are outlawed and banned and all of that.
Yeah.
But when the ecclesiarchs roll up, it's the Cathedral of Bone, Palace of Bone is like Cawdor headquarters. And they just have like holy relics hanging out that they specifically won't give the ecclesiarchy. And so they're just like trolling the ecclesiarchy, which you don't do. It's like it's like walking up to an inquisitor and kicking him in the balls and thinking that's going to be okay. But it does. It works. I don't know why. It's wild.
Because they're nuts. Because they're nuts. That's why.
Yeah, the Palace of Bones is what it's called. They've got it. They've actually got a sketch of it in here, which is amazing. And like all these Munda stuff, all the art's amazing. But there's a couple of really cool things that set them apart from a normal gang. The first is, from the Law and Misrule book, from the Enforcer book, Book of Judgment. Yeah, Book of Judgment, where you can be an outlaw gang or a law-abiding gang. And that's a specific, like, it's campaign rules, and your campaign has to have that rule for you to start being one or the other, unless you're Cawdor. For Cawdor, you can buy either redemptionist gang members, so like a redemptionist brother, they've got redemptionist Jews, redemptionist champions, the whole thing, or the regular Cawdor. And if the gang, and it's called pious or fanatical, right? So the pious ones are Cawdor, fanatical or redemptionist. And if you have more pious fighters when the gang is founded, you start off as law-abiding. Automatically, you have to. If there's more fanatical, you're outlaw. Just you are, regardless of what your campaign rules say. And if it's an equal number, it goes off of whatever gang leader is pious or fanatical.
Gotcha.
But the cool thing is you can change alignment based on the gang composition.
What?
And it might not be your choice in the matter. So say you have an even number of gangers, right? And your leader is a redemptionist, right? So you're an outlaw gang. You've started off as outlaw. You think that's really cool. You go through, but you wanted those blunderbusses and crossbow grenade launchers. So you've got a good amount of pious guys in
Gotta
there.
get myself one of those.
And then some of your redemptionists get killed.
And a redemptionist dies, and suddenly you're like rolling. So whenever it could change, you have to make an alignment test.
Oh Lord.
Wow.
And then if it's passed, fine. But if not, your alignment immediately changes.
Holy shit.
Like, and if like your
How
gang,
do you make the test? Is it
so making the alignment check. This is done at the very end of everything. So after you've bought new guys, dead guys, all that. So the gang leader makes a willpower check, and you can add +3 if the gang leader's affiliation matches your gang's affiliation.
Okay.
Right. So if you're already pious and law abiding, you got a pious gang leader, you get the +3. And if it's passed, your alignment doesn't change. If it's failed, the gang alignment changes immediately. Just at the drop of a hat.
Wow.
Like people are looking at you guys on the street and be like, man, but you got a lot of those eviscerators and that's a little heretical.
So I'm sorry, I might have missed the point. Is there House Cawdor and Redemptionists in that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so
it's like
they're the same thing. That's the thing you got to wrap your head around.
Gotcha.
Like it's not like a Gene Stealer cult or like a Chaos cult, which has very specific different rule set.
Yeah.
So there's like for your leader, you can get a Redemptor Priest, which is the Redemptionist fanatic one, or you can get a Cawdor Wordkeeper, which is and they have different weapon alignments. The Cawdor, the pious ones, have the pole arms. Pretty much anything in that basic box set for Cawdor.
Sure.
Those are all the pious ones.
Got it.
And then the Redemptionist guys have access to like eviscerators and chain axes that you can put exterminators on, like the little one-shot flamethrowers, and heavy and like just a whole bunch of other random stuff, which is fun because you can't just pass the weapons like across party lines. So like, great, you want that crossbow grenade launcher, but you also want an eviscerator, but you want to be a law-abiding gang. Well, you got to have some outlaws in there to make it all work, which is just really cool to me.
Yeah.
And it can be a downside, right? Because non-outlaw hangers-on will not work with outlaw gangs. And outlaw hangers-on only work with outlaw gangs. So if your alignment changes like late campaign, a whole bunch of hangers-on could just be like, nope, not doing this.
Man.
We're out.
That could really screw you over.
It can.
Oh man.
It can. But the other cool thing, and we're not going to go into all of this because it's 2 or 3 episodes.
There's a lot.
Right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool stuff.
I started skimming it. And I was like,
That's a huge book.
Lord, this is an even
A lot of stuff in
It
there.
is. It comes out to like 130 pages.
That's probably the longest book of
Ooh, what's that image on the back cover or the back in?
It's the standard map of Necromunda.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I don't own any of the Necromunda books.
Slacker.
Missing out.
Real
I know.
missing out.
I know. I'm now painting my Goliath.
House of Chains, baby.
But the coolest thing, and I got to say, it's like they've done a really good job overall, just in general, Necromunda, kind of capturing the vibe of the different gangs. Sure.
That freaking rat guy.
Like they have upgraded that for Cawdor to like 15 or 16. Like they've cranked it up all the way, and it's called Articles of Faith is what does it. Because for those of you that played old Necromunda, you'll know that Cawdor's like gimmick, like what they were good at, is bringing a shit ton of guys and having flamer weapons. Unfortunately, in new Necromunda, there's a lot of times a limit on how many gangers you can bring, and people can buy fire-resistant clothing. Right? So that kind of screws what they're known for. They can still do it.
To be fair, a hazard suit is, worthless otherwise.
It is, but every single one of my gangers has a template that can catch you on fire. What are you doing?
Well, that's your thing.
Yeah, Exactly.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Every one of my guys has like a 2-up armor save against everything but flame weapons because, you know.
like Gene Stealer Cult come with Hazard Suit basics, right? It's rough. However, they have Articles of Faith, and it is amazing. So this represents the sort of denomination of redemptionists you are, right? It's like how people go, oh, well, all Christians are the same.
Baptists,
but there's
Lutherans.
Catholics and Baptists and Lutherans and Westboro Baptists, even though they're not really Christians, right? But like, there's everything from, you know, hardcore Protestant, you know, salt of the earth types to like crazy snake kissers and everything in between.
Yeah, I said, you know, earlier in this, you know, Cawdor are the guys who are waiting in line at the Shoney's buffet at, you know, 1 p.m. And, you know, at that time, redemptionists are hanging on snakes and, you know, performing miracles.
Exactly.
And also killing people.
Yeah, also, yes.
Killing people.
Yeah,
too.
and like
that's
outside,
important distinction.
Outside looking
you know,
in,
burning heretics.
they're all pretty much the same, but internally there's a lot of different things going on. So, but of
Also, I like
course,
to say, y'all can do whatever you like, practice whatever you like, as long as you're not harming anyone else. I'm fine with it. Go.
Be careful with them snakes, folks.
that's true. That's true. So you generate faith dice, and you can use them to perform articles of faith. So how it works is, in the end phase of each round, you roll a d6 for every guy on the battlefield that's not seriously injured or broken. That's Cawdor guy. On a 5 or 6, you get a die for the next round. You can stockpile them, right?
Sure.
Round to round, you just can't have more dice in your pool than you have models on the table. And you can do a double action called Beseech the God Emperor that lets you roll 3d6 to generate faith die instead of 1, which has me thinking of the old Bretonian rules where you decline to go first and everyone get an invul save because they're all just praying. Of just like the first round of every game, just like everybody get on your knees, beseech the Emperor. We're doing it. Because faith dice are awesome. So it works thusly. When a Cawdor fighter activates, you can say, I am going to attempt an article of faith. And they each have a different threshold, which goes from like 4 to the simple things to I think 11 is the highest. You pick a certain number of dice, you roll them, equal or beat it, it goes off.
Sounds like psychic powers.
It
with
does
extra
sound like
steps.
psychic powers.
Psychic powers are like the old fantasy casting spells.
Yeah,
Because it's not like how many 4-ups you get. It's you need to score 4 or more on however many d6 you roll. And you pick one of 4 paths of faith, which each have 6 articles of faith in it. And they each have their own little bonus, like, oh, like this faith, if you have a champion on the table that's not broken, you can roll an extra die to see if you generate faith die. They're like, hey, if you've killed a guy, you get extra faith die, whatever. Just a little buff.
This sounds like it's going to take an extra 20 minutes in a round.
But it won't. It really won't. You can also cherry pick and have your own denomination where you just pick 4 articles, whichever 4 you want. And you don't get the little bonus to like generating dice, but you've cherry picked 4 good ones.
So you've made your own church with blackjack and hookers.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
But these are amazing, not only for the cool stuff, but they're all, each article of faith, it's not just like, you know, rending or something. No, it's things like, and lo, I did spread my wings and the God Emperor carried me aloft. Like, and he stood defiant upon the mountain. They're like Bible verses. Bible verses for redemptionists. It's amazing. People will be yelling these at Necromunda events, and it'll be great. And they're all crazy. So, for example, in the Path of the Fanatic, which I think is the one I'm going to take, there is, as I said, and lo, I did spread my wings, and the God Emperor carried me aloft. Goes off on a 5-up, so like 2 dice will reliably get you there, right? Theoretically. And whilst this article of faith is in effect, the fighter may move an additional 3d6, may add a 3d6 to their movement when attempting to leap a gap. When attempting to jump down to a level below, the fighter can reduce the distance measured, so make it easier to do and less likely to kill yourself, by d6 plus 2. Which is awesome.
Yeah.
An extra 3d6 of movement, you can just fling yourself across an 18-inch gap and be where the enemy didn't expect, right? That's awesome on a 5-up. However,
Mega jump pack. However,
players should note that when invoking this article of faith, they must declare the move this fighter intends to make, including the leap or jump. If this fighter fails to pass the threshold test, they must still move and attempt the leap or jump.
Yes.
Should they fall, their faith was clearly lacking.
Oh,
Imagining this
That's
Looney
cool.
Tunes, like,
Right?
make halfway across
The
jump
Emperor,
and
take
look
me! And just straight off the cliff. Like, not even the Looney Tune, just straight, he just jumps and falls to his death.
I like those
Insufficient
rules.
faith.
I like that.
Yeah,
It's not a simple. Okay,
Yeah.
now I can move up to this. It's like
No.
I'm going to do this. Here's my faith. Roll a d6.
There's
That's
there's
really
another the other really really good one as he gave them unto the emperor's mercy, which is unlike most of them, which take effect at the beginning of the model's turn. You wait until this fighter is targeted, until an enemy fighter wishes to perform a coup de grace action against that House Cawdor fighter. If you pass the threshold test, which is a 5-up, so again, probably going to happen.
2d6.
As many d6 as you want.
Okay.
As many d6 as you're willing, as you have.
It's going to happen.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
In your pool.
Yeah, like you're at least the first time, right? And then you'll probably run a dice real quick.
Sure.
But if the threshold test is passed, this fighter may interrupt the other fighter's action to perform a free fight basic action. Like if you try to coup de grace him, he might just beat you to death.
Get
Might
up
gank you.
and
Yeah.
shank you.
Note that this may prevent the coup de grace action from being performed at all.
That's pretty cool.
Which is awesome. There are also some, I'm not going to go through all of them
Sure.
because
There's a lot.
there's 24.
It's not one of those episodes.
Yeah.
24?
But, you know, six each, and there's
These guys
4.
got
So you
a
only
lot of love.
get to pick 6,
Okay.
or you only have 6, or if you customize it, you only get 4.
Only 6.
So it won't be, at least after the first game or two, it won't be like the Cawdor guy being like, oh fuck, which one should I use? There's so many.
Yeah.
Like you'll memorize,
Hold up.
6.
Let me go through my Bible.
Yeah, exactly. But like there's one where if you make a threshold test, it's called "And the People Rose Up in Their Multitudes to Aid Him." I just love the names. And if you pass the
Sounds
threshold,
like they had a lot of fun with this.
oh, they really did. So if you pass the test, you can add D3 extra Cawdor fighters to the battleground that were in your gang.
Oh,
so
shit.
like if the limit is 7 or 8, you just D3 more.
That's
and you can-
annoying.
Oh, D3. Okay. Not
That's
just
really
D,
annoying.
D3.
Okay.
But that's how you get around it because like your friggin' Juves are 20 points apiece
Yeah,
and are
yeah.
garbage.
Yeah.
So this is how you can kind of get that old hoardy Cawdor feel. However, should the threshold test be failed, and it's an 8-up, so like you really want to throw 3 dice at it, but how often are you going to have 3 faith dice? That's a little iffy. Should it fail, one randomly determined fighter belonging to this fighter's gang that is not part of the crew for this battle is immediately taken captive by the enemy.
Oh. Whoa.
Like,
Whoa.
they tried to get help, and he just ran the wrong way, and they were like, all right,
Took a wrong turn.
please let me introduce you to my mind face.
Oh, that's so insulting.
I'm assuming most of them have like real bad effects if they fail.
So almost all of them have a downside if you don't get it done. So like, and by our pain shall he judge our worth, improves your toughness by 3.
Wow.
And then at the end of the turn, you'll suffer a flesh wound.
Okay.
But if you fail it, you automatically get a flesh wound. And there are a couple others that are like that. Like you'll get a bonus, but also a flesh wound. And if you fail, you just get the flesh wound.
I assume he's like cutting his palm open or something.
Yeah, he's like, flagellating himself.
Ah, shit. Son of a bitch.
And like there are a couple that like take away an opponent's activation. But if you fail, the
Well,
Cawdor guy loses activation.
Yeah.
So like,
That's annoying.
but the most dick one, it's on an 11-up. So like, if you
Yeah.
save all of your money and do it once,
Spend
it
your
is
fate points on a.
and a river of blood did drown them. In the end phase, the enemy gang must count those fighters belonging to this fighter's gang that have gone out of action as if they were friendly fighters when making a battle test.
Oh fuck.
So, are you Cawdor? Have you got the absolute dog shit kicked out of you? Make the enemy act like 6 of their own men are dead.
Wow.
Oh man, that's not.
It's on an 11-up, and again,
Yeah.
you get 1 die per fighter, so you roll like 6 or 7 dice. You need a 5-up to have a die to try and do it.
Yeah.
And you're missing out on a lot of other stuff. Like, hey,
But
you know-
I'm just picturing this as an enforcer player.
Yeah.
Having dropped like
Fuck
6
you,
of your
buddy.
guys with bolters.
yeah, in
and
one
all of a
turn
sudden
with your bullshit.
6
Yeah,
of my guys.
yeah. And in the grace of the Emperor, even death was defied. The fighter ignores the effects of being seriously injured and cannot be taken out of action until the end of their next activation, at which time they automatically go out of action.
Okay. So you just
delay it.
You become immortal for like 2 activations essentially.
Yeah, you can mess shit up,
but then you will die
a little bit.
There's some that make it like you can't target any that model or models in 6 inches of him. Is like the blinding light of the Emperor.
Yeah.
Tunnel snakes rule.
And lo, his gaze did illuminate them, let you shoot through, like let you ignore like pitch black conditions,
really,
and see through like smoke grenades.
Okay.
But if they fail it, they become subject to the blind condition, which is fun. So it's like,
shit,
right? Like
again,
you weren't faithful enough. You bitch, don't do that, right? So, another good one. And flame shall burn away their sin. Attacks made by this fighter with weapons that have melee or versatile trait gain the blaze trait. So just all of their hand-to-hand. However, should the threshold test be failed, the fighter immediately becomes subject to the blaze condition. And I can only imagine he's got like a match and like a little bit of like alcohol to like pour on his muscle real fast. Just it's on my road.
The DJ Khaled, you played yourself. Congratulations.
My faith is lacking.
People are going to do it too because that one goes off on a 3-up.
Oh,
but what does that mean? That means you roll 1 die to do it. And as we all know, you fail 3-ups way more often than the statistics say.
Yep.
It's just a fact of life.
Yeah, like you can blow yourself up. There's a whole bunch. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Awesome. And like I said, there's like 24 of these, and I'm sure at some point we'll go through all of them. But this isn't one of those episodes. And there's so many cool things like the hangers on. There's a flagella, a hive preacher, which is essentially a mook, but he generates more faith dice for you, which is good. And there's the flagellator, and his special rule is purity through pain.
They look like a lot of fun.
Yeah. And his whole thing is he's just a guy. He's outlaw only. It's like he's a redemptionist, hardcore guy. And they're used to motivate and this is in quotes, heal their members. Because a wounded ganger or someone suffering from some underhive malady may well forget their injuries and get back in the fight if staying in the gang's hideout means regular whippings. His special rule is purification through pain. So during the pre-battle sequence, so when you're making your list for the battle, you can attempt to bring a fighter out of recovery. The chosen fighter immediately makes a toughness check, and if the check is passed, the fighter leaves recovery and can be included in your gang. However, the fighter begins the battle with a flesh wound, as you just like whip him until he gets up and goes out. So like starting with a flesh wound, not great.
But Cawdor, I mean, you got bodies.
You do have bodies.
Super good.
Depending on your articles of faith, you can have it.
Can that be done with multiple guys?
One. Okay. So these flagellators are 0 to 1, and you can do it for a ganger each game.
Gotcha.
So yeah, but still, how many times you've been like, fuck, I wish I had that heavy with the melt-a-gun or something. So you can bring him back. And that's really cool. And they just so many fun stuff. Just like the flavor of it is just so
there.
Munda. Like it's every post-apocalyptic religion you've ever like seen in like a Mad Max sort of thing, right? They're just out of their minds, and it's beautiful.
So you can also start as pure redemptionist too, right?
Oh yeah. No, there's no. If you want nothing but eviscerators and chainsaws and shenanigans, you can do redemptioner all day. If you don't want to have anything to do with those nut jobs because they're out of their minds, you can stick with your polearm flamethrowers and normal stuff.
That's cool. Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun. I apologize, listeners, if I'm slurring my speech a little bit because I didn't realize that the beer that Jared brought me is 9.5% alcohol.
Dude, I was wondering. I'm like
Holy
drinking
crap.
this. I'm like, why am I feeling this so much?
This is from our local Richmond brewery legend.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's the Woman in Black Imperial Bach.
It's not bad.
It's really good.
But hot damn, I was like, why is this affecting me so much?
Why are we rambling so much?
Is that 6? No, that's a 9.
I have no excuse, listeners. I'm just drinking Leinenkugel. I am only drunk on my faith in the Emperor.
But yeah, has anybody got some hobby in? Oof, has anyone gotten any hobby in today or lately?
We'll edit that out in post.
Yeah, too late now.
Going hard in the paint on Warhammer Armies Project Kislev. Yesterday I got just shy of 40 winged hussars and a bunch of polar bear cavalry, and it's going to be great, and I am super excited for it.
You know, I still have just not gotten into fantasy.
Well, speaking of which,
I need a lore dump or something because it's just, I don't.
You know what? I'm going to send you the link.
Let me get a couple more beers in me.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, honestly, I'm going to send you the link for the Warhammer Armies project. I think it's really good stuff. A lot of it's mostly fan made.
Yeah, it's like an open source Warhammer.
Yeah, it costs $0.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything is free. It's an interesting mix of stuff. It's grounded in the old 8th edition. But kind of the big complaints people had in that edition, like the magic was too powerful and like very swingy, like that kind of thing's been toned down. There's been a lot of streamlining over the years because obviously it's been, God, how many years since fantasy died? Like
6.
It's been a while.
6, 7?
Yeah, so they've been like toying with it for that long.
Yeah.
Some of the armies are normally pretty good. You can tell that the creators have their favorites. It's fine.
Sure. As most fan-made rules are.
But also, like, you're playing fan-made rules for a dead game, as we say in Battlefleet Heresy. You're playing with your bros, be cool.
Yeah.
And if you're
It's
playing
a
with
dead
your bros
game,
and be cool.
it's free game.
Yeah. There's not that $50 a store credit on the line in the tournament, boys.
That's right.
Tone it down.
I had one of our community members, Bo Hayward, print me basically like half of a 2,500 point army list for pretty cheap comparatively. It was probably like $500 for the models from GW or some sort of main retailer. But it's very, very, very exciting, and the getting into the community aspects of fan made rules, but also fan made models. I'm trying to find it, and am being waylaid by my own intoxication here. So stand by.
We played ourselves.
Yeah, we did. We really did.
Son
I'm
of a
like,
bitch.
holy shit, man, that beer. So if you are at all interested in Kislev models or squat models, because this dude does a lot of
Imperial militia.
some
Some of those Kislevites have muskets, boys.
if you go on My Mini Factory, I'm gonna do my best to not butcher this name. It's Kyoshunenko, KYOUSHUNEKO miniatures.
Kuyashenko.
Yeah, this dude does solid,
not knowing.
solid stuff. Seriously, I'm very, very, very impressed with his files, having seen them printed now. A+ work. Seriously,
Cool.
like probably cooler than what GW ever made. Honestly,
Yeah, I'm getting so deep in the goddamn 3D printing now. I picked up a Saturn when it finally went back to regular MSRP on Amazon.
Which means he has 2 resin printers now for those keeping score at home.
I do.
He had 0
But
6 months ago, 4 months ago,
2 months ago.
2 months ago. Yeah,
he's
And,
going to print his friend Jared some models here.
from where I sit.
The AT
I see 2, 3, 8, 10, 12.
Just every time we come over, there's like 30 new models.
There
he's
are
printed.
legitimately probably 50 resin, either 28 millimeter models or like that equivalent in terrain
Oh yeah.
that are like in my eye line right now. The man is drunk with power.
Yeah, the AT terrain is looking awesome.
It is.
I printed out from War Scenery. They have an Apocalypse set, and they have an Eternity Wall set, which I just printed out some of the Eternity Wall stuff, and it's pretty damn awesome. It's meant for 28 millimeter, but I shrunk it down to 40% for AT scale, which I feel like is a good decent.
No, it is the perfect scale.
And I got a Warhound just hiding behind a wall, and it's pretty awesome.
It's real cool.
And it looks great. And yeah, I picked up the Elegoo Saturn, so it's got a much wider base, so I can just start printing out bigger terrain, which
Bigger, more.
I mean, I gotta say, we got some terrain from one of our patrons, Nick Quenga.
God bless you, sir.
Yeah, dude.
We owe you
Oh, is
Thank
that
you,
is
sir.
that
entire
the
bottle of
pile of
whiskey.
shit that's sitting in my house right now?
Yes, and we spent
Holy God.
I think Sunday building a lot of AT terrain.
Yeah, we spent 6 hours, and my 8 by 12 or 8 by like 5 gaming table is still covered like 4 sprue deep.
And
God bless you, sir.
and I got to admit, the AT terrain is great looking, but it's such a pain to build. It's a big pain to build, and
they're
being
made for 90-degree angles, and no way of actually getting those.
Yeah, yeah, and just being able to print out a completely built piece of AT terrain, and just all I know, I have to just prime and base coat and dry brush. I'm pretty happy with that too.
Yeah.
It's a nice mix match of stuff. It's going to be good.
But yes, thank you, sir. I'm putting a good amount of that terrain into like a Zone Mortalis Necromunda or just regular Zone Mortalis board.
Talk to me.
No, it's a secret.
No, I'm just going to break into your house and look at it stuff.
You're too drunk to do that.
But
So?
anyway, but yeah, so Battlegrounds down here in near Midlothian, Virginia, they're coming out with an AT event. It's already sold out.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. It literally
Dave's
sold
running
out
it,
before
not
we-
me.
yeah.
Don't
I
blame
couldn't
me.
get the day off. I'm sorry, guys.
It's sold out before before we even got a chance to talk about it. It's a small one. It's 10 people, so we're just,
Yeah, getting back in the swing of things. We really need to schedule again.
Yeah.
Kutok at War, bring that back.
yeah,
I've
get some
got
28 millimeter horsepower action.
So much stuff waiting for that event. I had rule packets and the whole.
I mean, we had the whole.
It was literally like a month out when the pandemic.
Yeah.
really hit.
Well, what was the event I was going to do that was at like a week out from when quarantine hit?
Mhm.
Icomia?
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kutok at War was scheduled for like the first weekend of April.
Mm-hmm.
We had so
We were
much
all-
stuff that was like right on the cusp.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like
Quarantine.
because we've been talking about it when we were planning it all. That like,
Yeah.
man, everybody's going to be kind of exhausted by the third one of these. We had like
They're gonna
3
have-
things in the space of a
Yeah.
month.
Yeah.
And it was right after Adepticon too, or the Adepticon that was supposed to be, which was the fucking Adepticon that I was supposed to be at. But okay, thank you anyway.
But yeah, no, we're getting in the swing of things now, man.
Yeah.
Tell you what,
Going hard.
excited for it.
Yeah.
Things are taking place. Stay with us. It's going to be a good resurgence. Really excited to see what happens when the heresy.
Remember the last
Comes
pandemic
out.
that happened in the 20s? It was the roaring 20s after that. And we're doing it, except hopefully without the stock market crash.
Or the
Well, actually, I'm
or
looking
and the prohibition.
Dust Bowl.
we'll take. Yeah, it's true. I'll take the stock market crash. Let's not have prohibition 2.
Let's just not have the 20s. We'll just 2020s. We can leave the 1920s behind as
We'll
is.
just skip straight into the 30s because that was so much better.
Hooray! The 40s were great. Yeah, nothing bad happened there.
All right, fuck it. We're going straight to the 60s. Cocaine and free love.
I guess those were the 2 good points. I guess.
I don't know if Coke's a good point. It's not. It's not.
Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs, kids. They're bad.
Anyway,
So that's what Jared's been up to.
God. I started to finally learn how to do contrast paints, folks, and I've been bugging everybody on the retreats chat.
He's been painting as much as he's been printing.
I've gotten super excited. Will's been trying out some stuff, and he showed me a technique where I'm never buying the contrast spray can ever again. I'm just going to spray everything black and then just heavily dry brush everything with gray sear or wraithbone.
It does
And,
look great.
Yeah, it turns out way better than I expected it to, and it's been a while since I've been like super proud of how something looks. And maybe it's just me, but it looks damn good.
No, they look great.
And I posted I kit bashed a Courswain and painted him up, and I put a little article on rr30k.com if you want to check it out. That's how proud I was of it, guys. After 4 or 5 years, I finally posted a paint tutorial. Never felt like I was qualified to do one of those, but I was like, I had to share it.
Brave new world.
Yeah.
Post pandemic. Nature is healing. The
But yeah.
painting blogs are back.
Yeah, and expect more blog posts on our website too. I know Dave is interested in doing some more of that.
Yeah.
And we'll see if we can wrangle up some more other guys if they want to share stuff, and we can just post them on the website.
I will post pictures of my awesome winged hussars, and y'all be like,
That's
man,
not
I should
$30K. Get out of here.
I should get into Warhammer Armies Pro.
Yeah, as far as a little housekeeping, I know the Heresy Lord, the Heresy grad school guys, they're taking a bit of a hiatus just because they could not get their schedules lined up, which is understandable. Mm-hmm. And that show takes a lot of effort to get done, going through all the lore and stuff. But
it's stressful to be a guest lecturer, let alone actually running it.
Yeah.
Like I've sat in on like 2 or 3 of those when they need someone to talk about spaceships. I'm just like, Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
I'm not in college anymore. I don't do research papers.
Yeah. But we'll see. Well, we'll still see more stuff from them. It won't be quite as frequent, but expect that down the line. Yeah, I don't know. I feel excited. I feel like there's a lot of stuff coming up, and we're on the cusp of a brave new world when it comes to Horus Heresy.
Yeah.
We all saw those photos. We know.
You saw the photos?
We know.
But keep in mind, we'll still be here, and we'll still be delivering cool content for you guys to enjoy.
I love how you came to the cusp of saying quality content, and then we're just like, it's just cool.
It's gotta be content.
Certainly there will be content.
But yeah, we definitely thank you guys for listening, and definitely want to thank our patrons, starting with our Praetor tier, Alex Self, Chris Mack, Gardner.Tree of Woe, Joe from Music City Heresy, Luke Rizzuto, Matthew Boyce, Mr. Baldwick, Nicholas Quenga, Sar Luther, and Taco Tuesday or Bus 22 Rock and Roll McDonald's. Our Legion Centurions, Aaron Maynard, Andrew N., Angry Boy, Gorkrow, Dave Jones, Duncan, Jerry Austin, John Christensen, M. Tanzer, Matt Bolton, Queen Corswain, Scott LeMay, and the original Applesauce. Our Legion Sergeants, Agrippina, Emily O'Hare, Emily O'Hare. Oh, God. Emily O'Hare.
You've met her.
Carrot Lowe, Mr. Sear, Nick Gillen, the entirety of Legio Audax, and Zoe, and what do I call myself?
Jesse, you messed it up. Just let me read those again.
You want to read them again?
No.
Okay. But we definitely appreciate your support. New stickers have arrived. We got a World Eater themed sticker out for you guys, and everybody Legion Centurion tier and up will be getting that in the mail shortly. I got the postage stamps. I've got the envelopes. That's what they call them, envelopes. And we'll be sending those out hopefully over this weekend. So expect that in the mail here in the near future. Holy shit. Thanks, Jerry.
1 9.5 beer, bro.
I know, but
Dude,
it's a 16 ounce. So.
Yeah, honestly, like as I'm drinking, I'm like, am I just a complete lightweight now? Like, what's happening to
Lord.
me?
Weakness disgusts me.
Oh, you.
Legion Focus episodes.
Drink your Leinenkugel and
Like
hush.
4.2.
Yeah. Legion Focus episodes. I'm going to get deep into paint and start working and try to get those cranked out here in the near future as well. Alpha Legion is first, so I will try to herd some cats. And we need to talk about that because apparently the Alfarius Primarch novel.
Yes.
I have not read it myself, but Austin has.
It's something that me and I think Dave and Jason have been talking about.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of traitor propaganda here.
Oh, God, it's so good. It is certainly the best book from just like a cool lore reveals and just fuckery in the past couple of years that GW's come out with. And we're also kind of punting around the idea, I'm not committing to anything, listeners. But one of the things when we were discussing just how cool this one was is that all the Primarch books have something interesting in them.
Yeah.
For like the wider, like even if you don't like, Space Wolves, this has cool stuff or whatever.
I'd say the ones I've read really show a different facet of the Legion that typically you haven't really seen.
Yeah.
And kind of explain it.
Yeah. And tends to
more
also have, call outs to other legions that are interesting and things like that. But at least in our local group, I bought Lehman Russ because he's my Legion Primarch. Mm-hmm. nobody else did. If you're Iron Warriors, you're about Perturabo, nobody else did. So we might be doing a little something on those, at least the ones that, like, as a group we have.
We'll get the Heresy Book Club back together.
Yeah, exactly. We'll get the book club back together. And
the nice thing, the Primarch novels are short stories, like, all things considered. Yeah, they're short novels.
Which, like, honestly, is one of the reasons why I feel a lot of people don't get them, because it tends to be like, they're only in hardback. They're like $25, and it's like 115 pages.
1 credit on Audible, folks.
Are they on Audible?
Yes, they are.
Yes, they are.
All right.
Yes, they are.
But still, I could buy
get on it, folks.
I could buy a 15-hour Gaunt's Ghost book instead.
Yeah, I think the Lion novel's like 6 hours.
They're all like 6 or 7 hours.
Yeah, so like they're generally small, so it's a little pricier to get them. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot of cool stuff in there, so we might be looking at that in the future.
Yeah, we'll get together and figure that out. Yeah, be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. I don't remember the handle at this time right now, but that's fine.
RR30K.
We'll see. There's RR30K, RR30K podcast. You'll find us. Just type us in Google.
Presumably, you've already found us because you're listening.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Thanks to you for that. Share with your friends and family if you enjoy this. Maybe not your family, but I don't know. Maybe you got some weird uncle who likes to also roll dice in a basement somewhere.
So subscribe to Jesse Irvin's OnlyFans and
RR30K.
Yeah.
Personal.
That's where the real content is.
Yeah. Hope you like feet.
Good God. Here we go.
Hey, don't have your family listen to this one, guys.
Please.
No. Start them off somewhere else.
We are wholesome as shit, guys.
Yeah.
We're all functioning adults. We swear.
Semi-functioning.
Yeah. RR30K.com is our website. Be sure to check us out there. You can also subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and you can also follow our RSS link to your favorite podcast app. Join our Discord with the link in the show notes. If you want to, actually support us financially for this show, and no judgment here, go over to patreon.com/RR30K podcast.
For less than a monthly subscription to Warhammer Plus.
That's right.
That's true.
Or more. We're not going to stop you.
It's true.
And way better content, clearly. God.
For right now, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you see the GW guys getting just completely fucking smashed and then talk about Space Marines? I don't think so.
To be fair, I think Duncan was hammered at least once during
I'm 100% sure Dan was under some sort of, intoxicants.
No, he was completely self-aware when he said the Chaos Gods don't exist. It's the only thing that keeps Steven up at night.
That and Rogodorn being the best Primarch.
Well,
he was certainly under some form of substance abuse for that.
A drunk mind is a sober heart, folks.
But yeah, that's I think that's it for this week.
Yeah, that's all we got.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks
Godspeed.
again.
And girls, and everybody else. No judgment. Yep. We're full of love.
Be yourself. Take care of yourself. Keep those dice rolling. And we'll catch you next time. Bye for now.